That was our
Hello.
theme music. Welcome to My Name's Rick. I'm a pickle Rickle. It's Saturday. It's Wednesday night. Hello, a couple of perks. Do you get points? Yeah, probably because it's you. The link didn't work, by the way, but you've got a better one. Um,
What the? Oh, huh,
we're all setting
forgot I turned
plans
that
for
alarm on.
Nigel. Welcome to Farage Fest 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Um,
Andy, what do we do at 10 p.m.?
hey,
What do we do at 10 p.m.?
um, what do we do at 10 p.m.? That's a good question. I don't know the answer. We take medication. We take meds. Yeah. Sorry, I fell asleep. I was very tired. Hi, Shanna Cranky Pants. Hello. Um,
Hello, darling. Rejoice, everyone. The supermod is here.
I literally felt myself nodding off there. 1 minute into the stream. That's quite troubling. Um, hmm.
And with one of them being a rather weighty subject, too.
Yeah. Do you know what? I might go and whip myself a speed coffee together. So I'm like awake about 50 minutes. I need to power up. And I make sure I don't have another one. So I will leave you in Kitty Marshall's Give a Band.
Oi, oi, Welsh techie god. Hello, everyone. I've actually put in a bit of effort for tonight. When he noticed what outfit I'd chosen to wear tonight, he's saying, "What are you going to jump in the TARDIS and go back to the 1970s? Cheeky bastard." According to my mother, I'd probably fit right in and like use the fashion of the 60s, but the music of the 70s. It would work. I think it would work. 3 opens, 2 likes, and Twitch for the latency. Correct, Jim. Someone's probably done it, Junior. Probably. I'm not entirely sure what it would taste like. Like, I've had both of them, but not together. I do not take drugs. They are illegal, especially that one. So there will be some lightness in this, don't worry. But yeah, some of the stories that we'll be covering, grr, this seems to be putting everyone or quite a lot of people through the ringer, as it should. We're going to get to rant though. Hence the title that I've given myself: Fearless Member of the Fourth Estate. For full clarity, I am not a recognised journalist. And neither are some of the people that we're going to be talking about, oddly enough. Some of them are scum. Levison 2, please, everyone. If you can, email your MP. More on that to come. Refugee perks. That is rather clever, Michael. Rather funny. Oh, right. Yeah. Another reason to hate David Cameron. He stopped Leveson 2 going ahead. That is all. Don't get me wrong, there are some decent journalists out there, I guess. Some of them. Owen, maybe. Even though he's a columnist for the Guardian. Trying to think who else. Matt Kennard, he's very good and really, really quite based. Praise be Matt Kennard. But the vast majority of them, all scum. Who'd have thunk it?
Hello, I'm Andrew Luke, award winner of journalism. There's a chat.
That look.
Couple of barks, yes. Michael, welcome in. And some of Specs. Hello,
Thank
and
you.
Jim. Hello.
Maybe one. Yeah, I could see where he was coming from, but yeah, some of the there was a few things in it that I had issue with. Michael, yeah, he has since apologized, if that's worth anything, I guess. I don't know. He's like, what is he? A 42-year-old twink. Oh my god. Rejoice, the resident philosopher. Hello, Scribby.
Hello, Scribby. Welcome to our night with you.
Quack, quack, indeed.
I wonder, could I make use of the so we've got I like having this on screen text, but there's nowhere to put it. There's not a built-in thing with a background or anything. I wonder, could we like broadcast it off my shirt if I did that, and then
Scribatronic. I like that one. Thank you, Alex.
and then like as the words come up to the top, they can feed me. Your tasty chat. Alex, welcome. How you doing?
Oh, no problem. You can leave us on muted. The engagement would be good. And you can maybe type some funniness into the chat to distract people if we get too heavy. Yeah.
Oh, like so, maybe.
Ah,
Let me try that. No.
the interactor, the chat's names are fucking. They are. It's the same fucking color as my makeup. That's weird. Dan, rejoice.
Oh, right.
Our non-binary
If you missed the 10 o'clock meds call, it's 10 past 10. You want to take some?
I have taken mine.
Meds!
What the?
I will be having my usual mix of purples and whites. I'm not the kerosene whites, as far
I
as I know.
I am not touching the camera because the last time I done that before we went live, the image froze. So if you need me to move around in anyone, just put it in the chat and I can move around. Shift position. Take your meds, everyone, if you need to take them. One of my sign-offs.
Do you know, I might indulge myself with a wee cigarette as well before we start. We're having a nice, we thought with the heat wave, would have a stream that wasn't too much energy on us, wasn't too demanding for us or for chat. And then we started getting into the Jason Arday story. Best laid
Then
plans.
Andy Andy got activated and enraged and said, "Let's go for the bastards.
Yeah, let's.
They deserve
Yeah, I
it."
literally arrived on chat this morning screaming about, I'm going to tear these fuckers down. And that's when a couple of Burks post me their stream. We'll probably be going over some similar and yeah, building.
God. The fucking hell is going on here?
Oh, that's some sludge. That's a heavy sludge, Katie.
I don't know what's causing it. We're getting towards, like, well, technically we're still in summer, but we're getting closer to autumn. I shouldn't be having to deal with that fucking bollocks. The Caribbean, right, mind you, in saying that we've been going through a heat wave, there might be an excess of pollen flying around all over the place. Because my eyes have been, they kind of war, but then they kind of go horrible at the inside edges. I will not tell you how that happens. I don't know. Is that possible? Can that be classed as slavery? Can't buy people or sell them.
Follows that up
America
with,
would.
or at least swap him for Zach. Yeah, good
Zach in number
practical.
10 would be
Stuff.
fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get this shit moving, right? Hiya, Dan. Welcome to the chat. Katie, move slightly to your right. Yeah, yeah, because what you want to do, Katie, is avoid this sort of text over face stuff. So if you just sort of just back away from me slightly, there we go. Oh, and now I'm doing it. There we go. No, no, leave that where it is. Don't touch anything.
My
Of
God.
course, if I get up and have a cigarette, then it's going to upset the whole text to human ratio. Stuff's going to get a bit confused. Hi, Jacqueline. Jackie.
Jacqueline, hello, my darling.
Thank you. So, in context, this is a award for 6 years service, organizing Caption Comics Festival. Now, this was a bit difficult because Caption has a very sort of anti-awards ethos. And as far as I know, I'm the first person ever to get an award in its 26-year history. But this was presented to me by the chair rather than as an official, in a personal capacity, rather than as a festival action. And yeah, I get accepted because I've worked my fucking arse off. I'm not the only person to organize 6 captions. There's 6 other people who've done that over the course of the event. But like I worked really hard. I worked my pan out this year. So yeah, And I did sort of say at one point, I deserve an award for this. I got one. And it got me held up at customs while I swabbed it. I'm just like Richard Dawkins, except I'm not a cunt. Um, yeah. So yes, on Monday, my I've got a video going up. It's about the comics festival. It's mental unpacking if you're interested in that sort of thing. But if you go to the 30-minute timestamp, there's like another 7 minutes of like holiday snaps and videos from myself just walking the Oxford Canal towpath. And it's real. I got one or two bits of footage that are just fucking gorgeous. You just will have to see. So that'll be out on Monday. Um, And of course, I've got an Always Sunny video out tomorrow morning. So, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days of Andy on YouTube. Katie, how's your week been? How have you got me?
I've been fine. It's been okay. Well, other than the heat, I'm not built for it. It's I've started doing research for like the conference season and stuff. I've downloaded another tranche from the Tim's review because it keeps on getting updated every so often, like once every week or so, once every fortnight. So it's all getting. I download like 4 or 5 documents. I've created an entire fucking folder for it all, and it's all getting sectioned out.
Oh,
More on the Tim's review in November. Your lass is keeping on top of it. Don't worry. And I'm keeping an eye on you, Stephen Timms.
yeah,
Yes,
I've been planning with Jim and JOJ. We were going to have a full production screen cleaner starting in a couple of weeks, but various people have sort of went different ways, and we're talking about like a slimmed down version of screen cleaner, like a 10-minute kind of thing, which will be much more manageable for us. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm also thinking I'd quite like to do some Northern Ireland specific stuff, maybe like a live stream every once in a while. I don't want to take on too much stuff while I'm beginning. While I'm beginning my masters, and while I've got Discworld and pressing stuff on the way. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I just want to run in with a few of the comments. Jackal and Jack H. For some reason, has been watching funny little gallery acts on Doctor Who back to front. I know I do that myself. I don't know how, because with her reactions to Peter Capaldi being just so fucking distressed over it, like she doesn't get what an incredibly generous, kind doctor the 12th one is. So it's kind of funny watching her just get so upset and like getting to the bit where she's like, "Oh my god, he's incredible." So it's just kind of fun. She's also doing Babylon 5 reactions. Reactions is really like head over heels. So I would recommend those if you're a fan. Um, will you
I
be
haven't
going
heard of
to
them.
conference in October, Katie? Asks Dan.
Right, the tickets haven't went on sale yet. We will see. Our anniversary is during it,
I
and
take this
I
is
said to
SNP or Green.
Scottish Greens.
Scottish Greens, yeah. See,
Yeah,
America, Scots always to say, you going to conference? Like, you know what they mean. Oh, you're going to conference? I've just been on conference. Potato salad conference? Um, sorry, okay, sorry. But you Scots in your
Uh,
Hi, Omaha.
it's working so it's working. Omaha, I'm too busy. I've
Just
got
ignore.
to
I'm being
fill
very
out
cheeky tonight.
next week's menu. Hope there's scampi on Friday. Yeah, Scotch greens. I said that to them when they announced when and where. We were meant to be going up for the weekend to the place that the conference is going to be held in, and the minute he found out, he cancelled the holiday. He cancelled the weekend away. He said, I didn't know you'd be having your conference up in Inverness this year. I said, well, it depends. It was in Edinburgh last year. I thought it might have been up the west coast somewhere, but it's went up north.
I've been to Inverness. I quite liked it. So there.
I've been to
Not that
Inverness
my
once.
opinion counts really for that.
I've been to Aviemore more. I've been to Aviemore 4 times.
In fact, I went to Inverness for a comics festival, not unlike Caption. So essentially, it was just a bunch of mates drinking. Like you're going to enjoy that, right? If you've got a bunch of mates and you're all drinking, and maybe you haven't met one another, that's a total formula. Hey, we should do a political YouTubers festival, but like keep it really lo-fi, no big sponsorship, no like Kevin Logan electronic billboard. Just we'll meet him in a pub with rucksacks under the table and just have a few pints. Yeah. Did you see? Did anybody see No Justice MTG's video on Farage Fest?
Someone spiked my iron brew. What the fuck was going on?
Do you want to describe that for people who haven't seen it, Katie?
How can I?
How can you
So
indeed?
I don't know where it was held, but it was obviously in the constituency somewhere. So it was basically a knock a Farage Fest, a festival for band rock. There was fuck all people there. There was a band singing to 4 people. There was like a fire pit. You could roast
There was
marshmallows.
one person dancing. The
There
other
was one
three were
person
sat
dancing.
down on a bench towards the back.
There was a Ferris
Ferris
wheel.
wheel. It was enormous, and this was a big fucking electrolyte Ferris, like size of a house, and it was still because there was nobody on it, if it
There's,
even worked at all.
I assumed it worked.
There
There was
were
Farage Fest branded like I'm assuming they were plastic, not glass. To get that
like
or to get glass ones done and dusted, you need at least 2 or 3 months to get those done. So it's if you
what
make
made it
plastic ones
extra
for
funny
political.
for what made it extra funny for me was it was an enormous space. Like this is a really big sort of like if you've got a rock concert or with some mainstream stars coming to town, that amount of
Yeah,
space roped off with that amount of security with loads of tents, security tents, and this sort of trying to cultivate this free festive atmosphere, and there was hardly anybody there. There was like well, easily under 50, right? And because it was
I
so big, like they were all kind of like just spread out, like really, most.
yeah
I think the most popular area was the free bar, and even then there were about 10 people at that,
yeah.
and it was an enormous bar too. So just the ratio between the space to body ratio was really really disparate.
Oh god.
Utterly recommended. Yeah.
Look, I'm a person of the community. Look at what I'm doing for everyone here. Come, constituents.
And it can only add to the I mean, somebody posted back of the cigarette packet figures on Farage's Clacton campaign, and they showed they really like easily exceeded the amount that you can spend on it. That was before Farage Fest, so I mean, there's going to be more questions to be asked on
Yeah.
on campaign financing. Um, so, of course, one of the things most people in chat have been, I've heard that when I was at the Caption Comics Festival, there were a number of it's a comics festival for comics creators primarily, and some of the best comics creators in the UK had created a Count Basie graphic novel put out by a top UK publisher. They decided they'd do it 3 weeks ago. It came out. It had its official launch the night before the Clacton by-election. It's up on Amazon now for a tenner. It's published by Self-Made Hero. And a lot of the creators were at Caption, so that like one of them had been charged by the publisher with going out and giving contributor copies, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. It's really good, and Farage will not like how he is depicted at all.
Tenner on Amazon, you said?
Tenner on Amazon, and 10% goes towards shelter. So do give that a go. Yeah.
That's getting ordered on Tuesday.
Rich Johnston, who is a lead writer for Bleeding Cool, he's also a cartoonist for right wing site Guido Fawkes. He's a good guy, Rich, but Guido Fawkes can go fuck himself. But anyway, he says he gets to draw a lot of political figures in the course of doing that weekly sketch. He says you can tell a lot through their reactions to being sketched. So, Bart like, oh, that's brilliant, ha, 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 ha. You know, you haven't made it until you haven't been slightly quavering with his voice here. You haven't made it as a political figure until you've been caricatured. Liz Truss absolutely fucking hated it. She went ballistic. Rich showed Nigel Farage a drawing he drew him. This is prior to the Count Binface book. And he did his mad chortle, and he said, you haven't drawn me nearly ugly enough. It's a very odd kind of thing to say. But Rich then said, well, I think he's going to have a very different take about how we've drawn him in the Count Binface comic. So watch out for that. I have my copy ordered. If you're near London, Gosh had launched a book, but I would imagine it's made its way to other comic book shops by now.
I wonder if Forbidden Planet will have it.
I dare say they will, yeah. My Amazon copy says it's not arriving until the 25th, which seems quite a long time.
Fucking
It's
hell.
published on what, the 14th? Or the 13th? Yeah.
Odd.
So I don't know.
Excuse me. Can we get it online? Burke's asking.
Yeah, dare say. I mean, I ordered mine from Amazon. You can probably get it direct from the publisher, Self-Made Hero. You can probably order it from Forbidden Planet for postage, and a few other places.
Well, the main Forbidden Planet's only a bus journey away on Suckhill Street.
Most cities have if not a Forbidden Planet, then a comic shop.
We've got 4. Big city. Yeah. One in the top, so Forbidden Planet on Suckhill Street, 2 down in King's Court, and 1 out in the West End, that way, that direction. My God, it's actually been years since I've been down in any of the two down in King's Court. For anyone who is interested, that is behind St Enoch Centre.
Um, I suppose, like, seeing we are kind of adjacent, we were going to talk about the Clacton by-election, but I don't think we've done any specific research other than what we picked up. Have you been a Clacton by-election enjoyer?
I have indeed, yes. I've checked out all the stats and stuff. Like the only two people got their deposit back, and you can imagine who they were. So there was 34 candidates in total. Manfrog and Binface got their deposits back. The other 32 never. None of them even came anywhere close, obviously. So out of those 32 that didn't get it, so that's £500 deposit that they all had to put down. Reform get their £500 back, and so does Binface. The other 32 bye £500. So there you go, £16,000 just gone. Well, not gone.
Nice. I mean,
into.
it's very good of those candidates to help try to recoup the fees that Nigel Farage's phony election has run up. So I woke up at 6 in the morning. Oh, I woke up at 10 to 5 in the morning when the presiding officer was striding about the hall, having announced that the announcement would be made at 6. And he was like, obviously, it was ready way before 6. So he was busting to go. And it was kind of, there was a very respectful attitude, seeing Nigel Farage wasn't in the room. And he ran through the list. Sorry. He didn't run through the list, he read through the list. And every time that an announcement was made, people clapped. And everybody was very polite, even Lawrence Fox. Well, presumably, actually, the camera didn't stay on him because his image can't be captured on film. But it came to it, so they read through. It came to actually the Monster Ribbon Looney Party were quite loud. It came to Nigel Farage's name being called out. Oh. I don't want to carry on with Katie's coughing. Give her a little moment. The candidates had actually made a point of asking the presiding officer to say thank you to all the volunteers who'd done the counting and managed the counting room, and that went down really well. But every candidate got a bit of applause when their scores were read out. And it got to Nigel Farage, and there was one person in the room who clapped once, and the contrast was so stark. And then it got to, like, everybody's getting a clap, and it got to the end, and so we announced Nigel Farage a winner of the Clacton by-election. Again, one person, one clap, and then it moved on to the presiding officer. And a few people clapped to thank him. But you could tell there was a certain reticence, because thanking the presiding officer at the end, coming right after Clacton, right after Farage being announced, was like, people weren't fully committing to the clap.
I can't quite remember how much Manfrog got, but he got 22,000 and 68.3 or 4% of the vote. Count Binface got 9,455, 27% of the vote, and all the other ones got under like 2%. The turnout was quite a surprise. The 44.3% turnout stunned me. The turnout for the general election for Manford getting in the first place was 58. So it went down. So the turnout was reduced. He got a bigger. He got so you have to work it out. Its majority took a slight knock. It's a little bit of a knock because you have to remember the main parties were running during the general election for Clacton as well, and Manfrog's still on it, and he's retained it.
Oh, I've just noticed this is going out on my Twitch channel tonight. I don't know if anybody's actually watching it. No. But hello, welcome to Twitch, Andrew Luke, or whatever the URL is. I should do a special hello to Twitch. Yeah, to be honest, somebody remarked they felt the whole thing was a little bit of a disappointment. It wasn't quite the event they had hoped, and I felt much the same way. But I guess it's all about how much you put in, right? Like if you're not glued to Count Binface's coverage, and I mean, all I really recall about it was Nigel Farage and Matt Badlaw standing in a desert somewhere, spending about 10 minutes asking if their camera was switched on yet. They talk about leftist tech fail. I mean, that was quite far gone. Yeah, I've had a Twitch channel for a while, but I haven't actually done anything with it. So I think it's just tonight's stream and the previous one. Yeah. So I haven't even announced it. Yeah, Lawrence Fox didn't do so good.
Andy, look. Look.
Well, where? Hey, first comment.
You've got a follower, some mad Scottish woman. I've no idea who she is.
So the speculation's rife that we might very well be having Count Binface pop up in Clacton again in 2 months, or challenge Richard Tice when the recall petition for him comes through. I mean, it must be horrible to live in Clacton and being left, because that way you're seen with like a bunch of other idiots and gullible hicks. It could have been such a win for the people of Clacton. Binface, they could have been praised like globally because of this. There's something Farage has achieved, and they could have gone as heroes. Twats.
Yeah, totally.
Hello on Twitch, man.
I have no idea if you right. Did I have moderators when I was unaffiliated? I can't remember. It was 3 years ago. I can't believe I've been doing this for streaming for 3 years. The fuck?
Happy 3 years, Katie.
My anniversary's next month.
Um, shall we turn to the Jason Arde story? Are we ready for that? Is it too heavy?
We're,
Our brains feel. We've had some rain here in Belfast-ish. So, and you had some too. So, hopefully, some of
yeah.
it will make its way to the reels.
Oh no, we're hopefully it can roll down off the mountains down the west coast and maybe wash away number 10 north. Hmm.
Let's see. I've literally got about 16 tabs open. So,
What the fuck?
yeah, I don't know well stuff's worked tonight. With that, I'll threaten to shut down my stream. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to take. Oh, I can move chat over a little bit. That would do it. Um, so, this story was linked to on Blue Sky today by Zach Plan. For those of you that are actually, Katie, do you want to give a bit of a of the stories or have not been following it?
Okay. Yes. So Jason Arde was a professor of the sociology of education at Cambridge, wasn't it? Cambridge University. I don't know what college that he was actually based in. So plagiarism, he got the plagiarism checked once and passed it, and the second one hasn't been even released yet, even though the man's no longer with us. And the news stories got released about this and how he plagiarist and stuff like that, saying then they all piled on, piled on. He was just box ticking, exercising, use to deactification, if you please, DEI hire and everything of that nature. Wrong. It's EDI here in the UK. Thank you, not DEI. We're not America. And they went deep digging into his past. He was effectively mute, severe disability,
It's
growing up,
severe autism.
severe autism, right?
To the point where his story, I think I mean, there's been stories disagreeing with this, but his story to the point where he was essentially mute and couldn't write until he was 18. He became professor of education of sociology at age 37, the youngest BAME professor. I don't know how professor's any different from being a PhD. It seems to imply he was the field chair at Cambridge, so the youngest ever to hold that post in Cambridge, or maybe
Wow.
at any university in Britain, which points to a
No.
bit of which highlights a bit of a lack of lectures of colour throughout the UK.
Yeah. No, if I ever remember correctly, right, quite, by the way, there was a professor at Glasgow who was in his 30s during like the 90s and early 2000s. He became a professor, so he basically fired through his undergrad, done his master's and PhD in short order, then became a professor at the age of 38. So they haven't checked that properly.
So over the last couple of weeks, he resigned about two weeks ago. So I'm going to just find that out actually. He resigned on the 5th of August, at which point the media circus talking about the accusations of plagiarism against him, which do appear to have some foundation, at which point the accusations accelerated. Usually when there's a resignation, the news story goes down, but this time it mounted, and pretty much chased this man to his death. So this is a story from 3 hours ago, well, initially published this morning. Burnham saying it was a tragedy on so many levels, called for a moment of reflection, not to rush to judgment. It's linked to by Zach Polanski saying it probably is a good point to rush to judgment because it's not the first case of institutional racism or persecution by media.
Correct. Yeah.
A donation page has been just spotting this, Wanda. Windrush campaigner Sir Patrick Vernon has set up a donation page, which has raised more than 10,000 to help cover funeral costs for his family. He was I think there's a quote in here about it. So he had family were in shock to have lost this amazing father, partner, brother, uncle, and son. I think during our voice chats today and Burke stream, I think all of us have just been incensed with rage and lost with despair at just how horrible this situation is. Public hounding campaign. He had lost a lot of weight in the last couple of weeks. He wasn't leaving the house. It sunk into a deep depression. So one of the stories we picked up on was this piece on News Cord. It's not a site I know much about, but they have done a phenomenal job in charting the various news stories about our day in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And everything on this page is sourced. If you're watching this on YouTube, on my YouTube, sorry, there's a pinned comment, and actually we can pin it again because right at the right at the bottom of the article, there's a major activist link where you can take action on the hold on, that's possibly only gone out to my YouTube channel. I'll try it again. There's a number of breaches of IPSO regulations. There's a number of retractions need to be made by the press. So News Corp has counted 249 articles in 22 days out and talked about them outlet by outlet. This chart on screen now shows The stories posted before the resignation. So in the Telegraph there were 12. Sunday Times there were 8. GB News, and then the period between Arday's resignation and his death. So the Times, Sunday Times at 33, the Telegraph 28, Sky News 2, the Guardian 17, and this red bar at the end shows the stories that occurred the day he died. Um, yeah, it's utterly terrifying.
Despicable scum.
Yeah.
There was a question in the chat from Jacqueline. What's the difference between a professor and a lecturer? Or are they basically the same thing? Or does one have to have a PhD? Not necessarily, but for the vast majority of STEM, you have to be a doctor before you have to have a PhD. Like if I wanted to become a professor for my chosen area that I wanted to go into, I need to get both PhD, a master's and PhD. Then I'd be made a professor if I wanted to lecture in virology, say, or parasitology if I went down that road. Was a dual degree done. So yeah. But for like the arts and humanities, it just depends on original work or analysis of previous works from done by other people, citation needed, like literal citations needed to prove, like saying I disagree with this person, and that's how it usually happens in humanities. But most of the people who get professorships within the elite, like either Russell Group or others of universities and colleges and stuff, they usually have a PhD anyway, or at least a master's. No, professor is an honorific, essentially, but for the vast majority of STEM, you usually have to have both the master's and PhD. And mostly you have to have good lab work behind you as well. Good scientific basis, blah, blah, blah.
Omaha writes, does this mean we can stricter press regulation, much stricter, as in make them suffer and start losing money stricter? Brilliant proposal. Yeah, I think it really could do with happening.
Can we get that, please?
Yeah.
That'd be fucking amazing.
And look, the argument they're going to throw up is when we come for them, oh, freedom of the press, we should be allowed to say things. Oh, you're in favour of censorship.
Shush,
You killed
you
a man
bastards.
again. Yeah.
You can have your freedom of speech, freedom of press, not wanting the consequence and not getting the consequences out of the way. No. You get the full consequence.
I mean,
all of it.
That's Liz Truss sixth form debating group yet again. So
you can say what the fuck you want, expecting no fucking response from us. You're stupid. And this needs to have teeth to it. That's why I wanted Levinson 2 to go ahead. Thank you, Cameron, you fucking demon.
So I'm just looking at this wonderful News Cord piece, which has aggregated a lot of these results. It's also got detail, like bylines, mostly unrecoverable in the Times and the Sunday Times. I've got a few of them. It also talks a bit about I think down here about how often these stories would run. Like so 249 articles in 22 days, 15 outlets, 188 in the 9 days between his resignation and his death, 20.9 a day on average across those 9 days. Um, and I thought I did this work on my own. So Leng, Jack Hardy, Eleanor Harding, from the Independent, and we'll be talking about them in a little bit. Oh shit! I wonder is this new? I didn't see this earlier. Um, okay, so yeah, we'll be talking about a few of these people. Um,
Oh.
so these are some of the most active journalists. Oh God, yeah. Actually, Gordon Rayner is credited with 4 articles. I make that 10 articles. Um, but I will come on to that in a moment. We'll just do this overview. So, as I said, after he resigned, it didn't slow down, it sped up. So, there's the resignation bit on the 4th of August, and then the bits in orange are post resignation. Um, there's a couple of figures in this. There is a race science blogger, right wing blogger called Nathan Kofnas, who, well, we'll break it down by, um, yeah, we'll talk about Jack Grove, who's a Times higher education reporter, and he compiled a 63-page dossier on the allegations of plagiarism that had dogged Ardy. And it was for the Times higher education supplement. Um, and they weren't going to publish all 63 pages, but it occurs to me that it was likely a very exhaustive piece of investigative journalism. I'm giving Grove the benefit of the doubt here. But when he went to publish it, Arde sacked his lawyers, or sacked not necessarily his lawyers, but lawyers for the job, and those lawyers were Carter Ruck. And if you've ever read Private Eye, you know Carter Fuck are in every single edition for the amount of predatory lawsuits that they push.
Yeah.
So essentially, that put the kibosh on Jack Grove's story, and Grove was actually reported to the Met for harassment. Um, and it seems that that is a bit fishy as well, as in it it suggests that Grove might not have been an applicable act to report Grove. But fast forward to this year, July, Nathan Kofnas, a sort of a Matt Badloss with racism, um, decided he would publish on Substack these allegations against Jason Arde. At which point, the Telegraph brought it mainstream through Gordon Rayner. Um, so I'm going to fire up one of my. I made a few graphics when I was studying this. Um, and thanks very much to Specs Beans for doing a bit of research um, that brought in those journalists. So if you give me a little minute, and I'll try and figure out how to upload. Okay, image. Here we go. Times, Telegraph. Okay, there's a bit of dispute over whether the Times or the Telegraph was responsible for this just oversaturation of. Hopefully, there should be an image up in. Is your Stephen nearby?
I don't think so. I haven't heard him turn off the bedroom light yet.
One of us.
Oh,
they're
working on the railway line.
Appeared.
They're working on the railway line just down the road a bit. So you might have actually heard the warning. So when they're working on railway lines, everyone.
Like somebody talking. That's not it. It sounds like somebody like in their sleep, just sort of.
I know it's like a little explosions to let them know. Oh, bollocks! A train's coming.
So yeah. I don't know if we can move our cameras about, but we might block some of the stuff. Essentially, I'm a yeoman, 8 articles. So what do you make of that, Katie? I'm going for smoke too. I can talk and stalk.
Right, the Times. This graphic here, yeah, you sent it to me. Yeah, these bastards. So the Times, the paper of record, everyone, and the Sunday Times as well, obviously. So Jack Grove on the left. Times Higher Education supplement, 63-page feature plus 10ish more articles.
Now, worth bearing in mind,
Horrible.
As far as I'm aware, the 63-page feature was never published. It might well be that this Nathan Cognis, or let's call him Nathan Not Cognis, has gotten hold of the unpublished version and used this to boost his mad conspiracy theories, his race supremacy bullshit. But I mean, Grove initially tried to get this results of a 63-page dossier through the Times, was threatened by lawyers, and then once Cognis had cleared away with Substack, ran 10 more articles for 63 pages of dossier. Seems a bit yeah, I mean, many of those articles will have come after RD resigned.
Yeah. And 8 articles from Emma Yeoman.
Now, I've put at the top there July 24th, but I really shouldn't have done that. That was a concession to absolute accuracy. Most of these, I'd say, let's say 42, 43, were published from July 30th to yesterday. So you're essentially talking about 14, 15 days. So almost 3 stories a day.
For a fortnight.
Yeah. A quarter of them opinion pieces.
No, you don't get to have opinion pieces of how disabled people and like that. No, horrible. Like that'd be like doing a story on me every day.
Right.
They can
Bullying
if they
is
want.
not
Yeah, bullying isn't an opinion. It's not. We need better press ethics. We need better press. Please tell me we can get better journalists, Sandy.
a Levison 2 would be nice, right? When I put these graphics together, and kind of my impetus with Screen Cleaner is typically we hold institutions to account. You know, we'll badmouth if the Telegraph, if bad stuff has come out of the Telegraph, we'll talk about the Telegraph. What we don't do is talk about Gordon Rayner or Albert Tate or this other guy. It's kind of unfortunate actually that our cameras are kind of blocking the
Oh no,
bits
that's
on the
Tim
graphics.
Stanley. I think most of the people in this chat will know who Tim Stanley is.
Oh, sorry, I
Hello.
don't know what's happened here. Why?
That's okay. No.
There we go. Yeah, Tim Stanley is the co-host of the podcast. If I remember rightly, he appeared with laminated kebab doner meat skin Jacob Rees-Mogg
Yes.
to badmouth Arde. And I think it's important we know the names of all of these people. Gordon, and a prime example here of like somebody at management level being directly tied to the abuse. His name is on almost a quarter of the Telegraph articles, 43 to 46 within 2 weeks. So, yeah. Hi, it's a Morton. Hi, Sherry Swiss.
Hello, Sherry. Nerd. Rejoice, everyone. It's the Morton. Hi, Morton. Want me to show you the stars? You can just show the stars to these three. I don't have a baseball bat, but I do have a hover pool cue. I will say again, no violence. A girl can dream, though. Naughty. Almost a quarter of them from Gordon Rayner. Delightful.
The institution. The third major institution, no surprise, is the Daily Mail. Flirtation with fascism by a long shot.
By a
38 stories, mostly in the last 2 weeks. Eleanor Harding, who is hiding behind in her byline and on LinkedIn. 7 articles. Let's see if I can just pull up a bit more detail on those. So yeah, Jack Hardy, Eleanor's the education editor, and you could argue that some of that is within her remit. I think it shouldn't really concern anybody who's not working as an education editor or education writer. Jack Hardy is the Mail's former crime correspondent. He's a bit more tied now to a crime. And Guy Adams, who has written 5 articles and was a central contributor to a podcast about Arde, is a Mail's senior feature writer and sports writer, or blood sports, if you like. So my criteria for selecting these, yep, Lord Rothermere, apple has not fallen far from that diseased tree. Absolutely, Omaha.
Who?
Um,
Who are we speaking in connection to, Omaha?
oh, Lord
Or Randy?
Rothermere and his or um, the shirts.
I thought yeah, we were
Follow
referencing one of these people. I thought that one of these was Rothermere's progeny.
um,
Can this bastard just fuck off
hopefully.
already?
So yeah, I will read out the details that you can't see from our camera. But these are the next three biggest press organs in print and online. Talking about so the Spectator, 21 stories in the last two-ish weeks, edited by Michael Gove. On the Spectator, 5 of these articles were attributed to the Spectator, which I seem to think is the editor, their editorials, and there's one directly attributed to Michael Gove. So this is somebody already prominent for snorting coke and whatever else,
Yes.
who everybody can agree should kind of be in the firing line. I almost wrote the word cunt in describing him. Under the Independent, I've run
You'd be
20
accurate.
stories. Sorry, go ahead.
You'd be accurate in calling him that.
Yeah.
He is a Tory. Yeah. Can that party just fuck off and die already? Thank you. Rant over.
You've got under the Independent 20 stories, Ellie NG. I'm not sure how to pronounce that correctly. So she's a reporter for PA Media and Central. She's written 7 articles. And over at the Guardian, 20 stories in the last two-ish weeks. So Richard Adams, who is their education editor, and again might have some claim to have an actual interest in writing about this, has written 6 articles in the last two-ish weeks, so once every 2 days. But Lanre Bakari, who is the arts and culture reporter, has written 6 articles and a podcast. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing in there. It's really none of his business.
Yeah.
I'm just going to going back to that News Cord piece. And actually, I need to wee, but I'll bring it up to this. I don't know if this was here when I looked earlier. This breakdown of journalists, but I'm absolutely glad it is. And as I said before, Gordon Rayner, of the Telegraph, is only credited with 4 articles there. I counted 10, and I did that manually. So I think this is somewhere where I might be a bit more accurate. So Katie and chat, if you could just cover for me for a minute while I just use the bathroom, I'll be right back.
No problem. I can't move anything at the bottom, unfortunately. Sorry, everyone. So just going on the guide, they're saying, like, say, Gordon Rayner here. So that's 4. So I'm assuming that's 5. So Ellie in 10, I think, then, if I've got the scale correct. Why arts? Why, like, Lonry Bakari and their crime one, which was Jack Hardy for the Daily Mail and Mail Online? Why would a crime reporter, a crime journalist, be writing that amount of fucking articles? I don't get it. This is not a crime, Jack Hardy. Get fucking out of there. Just no. Go back to finding fucking criminal gangs or something or whatever. The fact that the Daily Mail put their fucking crime reporter onto this, mind you, it's the Daily Mail. What fucking apparently anything involving anyone with a skin darker than ours, it's all crime. Apparently.
So this is a really good, fantastic piece of media analysis. It's got a breakdown on how the story played out his last day, and this 101 Daily Mail on Professor Plagiarism, 311 The Telegraph, talking to his schoolmates and questioning his autism. A minute before the London ambulance service pronounced him dead at the scene. 3 hours later, the Times publishes a comment piece mocking him. Jason Arday may want to get himself a nice pair of orange trousers, which, if you saw No Justice MTG stream last night, talking about this in general terms, it was a screen cap shared on there. So that was published 3 hours after he's dead, and it has been quietly deleted, publishing his obituary instead 2 hours and 20 minutes. The deletion in breach of press regulations requiring a formal retraction and explanation why it's been deleted. And in this case, you can imagine a policy as well. And then from 8 to 10 p.m.
Hang on. I just want to say something. That HTTP 410, that means it's been made unrecoverable or unarchivable, which means that they've literally taken it down and effectively shredded it. They've put it through a shredder, never to be seen again. You're disgusting. That could be classed as a crime. I'm classing it as a crime. Not a lawyer, by the way, anyone. Yeah, that's an admission of guilt. Yeah. So at the Times, you're evil bastards. Rupert Murdoch. Just fuck off.
In the
Dead, he drew twice the copy and the pylon changed hands. Fuck.
The papers that barely covered him alive arrived for the death. The Mirror, which published one column in his lifetime, 3 stories. The Daily Star, which never judged him worth a single article while he lived, found 2. The Independent led with 12, carrying the story that reframes everything above. I think this is the infographics breakdown. So, I mean, you'd expect the Daily Star to be red top tabloid, right? But actually, they didn't bother with any of this pile-on, and I think the real story is in the orange. The Daily Mirror, similarly, and the Metro. Um, but yeah, so I think it certainly is a news story. It should be, but it's a bit like sort of handing the hangman's rights to Netanyahu rather than Amnesty International. Um,
You okay on your own for a second?
yeah, sure.
Back
I
momentarily.
think I'll probably start to wind this up though, and we'll
Okay.
move on when you come back. So yeah, if you've been monitoring the news today, I guess it's been quite massive. And um, I did a stream with the Burks earlier, where we looked at that associate editor who wrote 10 articles, and we looked at his muckrack profile and found that those 10 articles were each published by Yahoo News and MSN UK. So essentially 30 articles within the space of um, 2 weeks. And then how many times were those shared over Blue Sky or Twitter or Facebook? Um, it's conceivable one author was published over 100 times. Um, yeah, it's very realistic. Boris Johnson has been in there. Nigel Farage has been part of the pylon. John Moir, other scumbag. And so at the bottom of this News Corp piece, there's references to the various ipso clauses that have been broken. It's the worst of the worst. And actually, there's this writing by a practicing NHS psychiatrist talking about Jason Arde in terms of the psychiatric label pseudologia fantastica, which is a massive breach. But it also occurred to me, who was like this professor's autism has been seriously documented. Some by himself. His book came out in America last week as memoirs. But I wonder if there's been some medical records breach as well, a la the thick of it. So, yeah, really, really just horrible, horrible stuff. So these highlighted bits from Ipso are in the pinned comment on my own chat. I mean, Toby fucking Young, scumbag. And yeah, I'm gonna paste this link. It'll probably be in Katie's Discord. It's certainly in the Burke's Discord. If you'd like to go and read that article yourself or pick it up later. At the bottom of it, there's this option to fill in a very quick form to make 5 formal ipso complaints, 5 letters to editors, and 4 questions to the Guardian readers editor. and you can essentially do this in one click. It's already 96,520 emails sent in this campaign. So there you go. Choose, you send letters to the Mail, the Times, the Telegraph, the Sun, the Spectator, the
Hang on,
Guardian.
did I hear your dulcet tones mention that free speech union bastard?
Who be?
Toby.
Toby Young, yeah, that fucking troll. You can see there by the form on screen. So all you have to do, your name, email address, address optional, and consent, and they will email you a verification code to go and click in, and then they will send all that stuff out. And if you don't trust them, they also present the text for you, give you the option of looking at it again before you approve it. So yeah, very similar address, news.org/action/Jason-RD-pile-on. And yeah, these bastards need to be held to account. It's one thing saying, "Well, I work for the Times, or I work for the Telegraph, and I have certain requirements in my job. I have to do things," but there comes a point where that's just an excuse.
Yeah.
And we're at that point where I suspect you probably don't agree with me in this, Katie, but we need to make these bastards suffer, I feel. Like
No violence. If
20 of
things
them aren't
happen, don't
worth
get
one
me.
Jason, are they?
Things happen. I get it. I understand. But if it can be drawn, traced back to people saying, "Oh, blah blah blah," individual on interweb. So, in some ways, it's a shielding mechanism, and it, in another way, it's not worth it. Don't get sent to prison for these bastards taking them out. It's not worth it. They're not worth getting incarcerated over. Karma exists, everyone, at the end of the day.
Oh, what does this button do? Oh, new toy, look.
Ah!
Right. Okay, I'm going in glittery. That's is that a new, have you just put that on, that outfit?
No,
That's
I've just put a
wonderful,
necklace
isn't it?
on.
All right, I must have been paying attention. So, yeah, we've got some stories. I would like to spend a moment. Don't want to take away too much of Katie's moving about in its own. Yes, surely Jason Arde can't have been the first professor or lecturer to have had allegations of plagiarism made against him. Why was it such news? Because Nigel fighting been enough for them. Because a new prime minister shouldn't be under scrutiny. Um, because Reform UK's Thai-based fraudster donations have already been explored um, uh, in great detail, so there's nothing more to be said about them. Um, does anybody else have, do you have any more suggestions for Jacqueline's question?
I like her
Um,
last comment. Well, in that case, I wish something harmless but really, really embarrassing and humiliating will befall these ghouls.
yeah.
I'm fine with that. I would say it's please don't waste milkshake, but it does look kind of funny. And if I ever found out that any of you have ever wasted a chocolate milkshake, you're stricken from my community. Be sure your sins will find you out. Trust me, a lot of finding out will be happening with these bastards. It's essentially it got paused. Hasn't the Farage investigation restarted or is continuing? Right. When he done his little stunt, he's had
Oh,
his
it's
little
back. Hi,
by-election. He
Orchestra.
won. Hello, my dear. Is now
I was reading he's been
restarted
referred to the
again.
police today.
Yes.
The police are looking into it.
See, karma.
Oh,
It does happen. Have fun talking to the police, Nigel.
I'm already making plans for Nigel.
Hi. Curdled milkshake. Yeah, that would work. Good suggestion, Omaha. Thank you. Yes, it's now it's restarted again, my dear. And Tice is getting investigated by the police as well. Watch this space, comrades. Your lass will be on it. And I assume so will Kevin, Helena. Well, Helena. Definitely Helena. Kev, maybe.
If you're on Blue Sky, the graphics around Jason Hardy, shared those on my Blue Sky. So go and give those a like or.
What the hell? What be name on Blue Sky? I have no idea if I'm following you or not. I don't think I am actually.
Andy
Is it
hyphen Luke.
Andy hyphen Luke?
Andy hyphen Luke. What do we want to talk about next? I wonder. So we're planning on looking at Andy Burnham versus climate change. That might be a one to go into today. Exciting news because Andy Burnham has used the words climate change in his role as. So yes, now the magic after refusing to use the phrase.
No, both are carrying on at the same
time.
Omaha, is the parliamentary investigation separate from the police one? Essentially, they're both ongoing. So, as it currently stands, they're both two separate things happening. So, police on one hand, investigating criminality, and the parliamentary commissioner investigating what they've broken in the Palace of Westminster, essentially. So they're two separate, but they're both investigating the same situation, essentially. They might be talking. We will never find out. We might find out. There's things we will never find out because we are but proles. We are little fungi kept in the dark and fed horseshit. Not unless we start doing something about it, Orchestran. People like me exist. Endlessly screaming into the void to change our energy policy. And tackling the fucking housing crisis as well. And retrofitting houses. They can't hear an angry Scottish woman. Maybe I need to shout louder. I would say I'd email my MP, but she's as fucking as useful as a chocolate teapot. Or actively wanting to attack the most vulnerable in her own constituency. Maureen, I hope you lose your fucking seat in the next general election. She was one of the ones backing Starmer to stay. Maureen, you are scum.
The news has
We're
frequently
damn
carried
close
the
to it.
story that up until yesterday. Oh, are we a bit out of sync? I'll try talking again and have a go. The press has constantly been carrying the story that Burnham has refused to talk about climate change as something of a climate change denier. And that's not, as Greater Manchester Mayor, he talked about it a lot. He talked about the importance of net zero. But as Prime Minister, he has completely avoided the subject as much as possible until yesterday. I'm sure many of you got an alert telling us not to use disposable barbecues or something like that. Was this alert, phone alert, only in England and Wales?
Yeah, we didn't get it up here in Scotland.
You got it in Scotland? I didn't get one.
We didn't. Neither of us did, Andy. It was only in England. Only parts of England got it. I didn't here, and you didn't over there. Because we're not currently getting burnt to a crisp. We're just getting the fiery yellow orb, disrupting all our bodily functions, essentially. But things were actively burning, as you can see on the screen, everyone. Delightful. I will send in as many troops as needed to fight Tinderbox Britain. What the fuck?
Tinderbox Britain. Way, Tinderbox Britain. It's another catchy slogan, that.
What is he going to crack out the green goddesses again?
It doesn't he look like he's like an ice cream van or a hot foods? Like he's going to pick up a hot dog or something?
Yeah.
With hats and everything.
That's a control panel for the hose for actually feeding in the water and.
That's his photo op. He's probably put his head inside it, or maybe he's like gone inside and then put his head out so that people can photograph him sticking his head out like a giraffe. But he's actually that boring. Nobody has taken that shot. We'll see. So initially he put out a Cobra meeting, which revealed that people shouldn't use disposable barbecues, which is fair because people can't be trusted. Idiots would go out and use disposable barbecues in weather like this. I think you have to be careful using any kind of barbecue. Maybe a general barbecue ban would have been closer to actually achieving something.
I've always we've used not me and Super Hubby, but me when we were growing up and stuff. So Mum's used them before for us, but we've only used them in our garden, like backyard, essentially. We had a rather large garden growing up in Perth. No, it was fucking massive. You could have built another fucking block of flats on it, like a four block. We used to play renders on it, then have a barbecue. I thought they were quite nifty, easy things. Actual barbecues are expensive, like getting coals, different kinds of woods, stuff like that. I quite like them, but I'm in a flat. Where the fuck am I
Yeah,
going to
you
get a
can't.
barbecue?
Barbecues in flats don't really work, particularly upstairs flats.
Oh no, I'm ground
Um,
floor. I could actually open up my living room windows, and I could put him out in the garden with a this disposable barbecue and get him to do it. I don't know.
it was really really sad in England last week, seeing Oxford, and I was out on one of the big campus, massive green areas, but of course it was just brown. It was acres of brown. It's like straw, um, of any kind of um, yeah. So I mean, I can only imagine what it's like in some of the worst hit areas in Wales and England.
Do you want to do a paragraph each?
Alone, not really. If you want to read this,
No
yeah,
problem. Yeah,
yeah. It's not too long. It is a bit, yeah. Um,
I can read it. Oh
yeah.
God.
Let's just go for summarizing, right?
Okay.
Let's take. Do we take him ice cream van man off the screen? Yeah, fucking. Um, so he's been touring the West Midlands, look at the destruction. Just imagine walking towards a wildfire in blistering heat. Empathizing with the fire and rescue services there. Um, yeah, I
That's
mean, if
living
you
with
want, if you want
public
to pick a
character.
paragraph here or there, but I suggest we can waste our
Mm.
throats and all of it.
On top of almost 100 million they've already provided to help like firefighters, firemen. We'll deploy aerial firefighting support, basically using drones to find out the hotspots, the actual hotspots, and tackle it that way. Some more fire engines or fire appliances might be an idea. You
Talking
can
about
carry on.
national coordination of assets. Yeah, stuff. Normal people call it like facilities and military support in South Wales. Um,
Around 200 personnel. Fucking hell. Okay. Support evacuations where needed and strengthen the wider emergency response. Okay, I suppose that's good.
call for
For the military
insurers to
personnel and
process claims rapidly. Um, yeah.
yeah, don't let them start screaming force majeure, force majeure. No, 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 no. This is caused by carbon emissions and the climate crisis, which definitely has fucking causes. Charge the petrochemical industry and fossil fuel companies for this. It is their doing. I will stop being ranty at some point in my life.
Careful when disposing of cigarettes. Yeah, it's a bit of a myth, actually, that, yeah, you can start a fire with a cigarette, but you have to be really trying. They've got these cotton buds in the end of it that kind of don't really catch fire unless yeah, they can't really start a fire on their own. So you would have to be
No,
tossing a lit cigarette into an already at risk area. Um, Emergency meeting of Cobra, not to be confused with G.I. Joe, the Action Force's enemy. There's been tales of A&E nurses fainting just with the extreme heat.
Yeah. I asked my sister about that, by the way, how they can combat that, especially with the workforce going out and caring caring in the community or working in hospitals or health centres, blah 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 blah. Air conditioning, stay hydrated, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
All the things I've already been saying to everyone.
It's been recommended not to go and sit outside when the sun is at its peak from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., I think.
3. Yeah, it's roughly between 11 and 3.
Yeah.
On the south coast, they can actually get that. It's been between 11 and 4. So sets in the west. So the sun sets in the west. So further south and west you go, you get longer sunlight. So the east coast gets it first in the morning, up until about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and it reaches right. Myself in this flat, we don't get much sun exposure because we're south north, so that's the south in that way. The positioning of these flats was decided fucking back in the 20s, over a century ago. So yeah, so the south the south the west down the diagonal essentially gets the last of the sunlight. So the east gets fucking done in morning to early afternoon.
Is Peace for the Independent here mentions farmers, always a bit of a vote pleaser. And I'm just going to share another tab on ITV. A 65 million funding boost for drought hit farmers. This again came out late last night, this story. To cope with drought, 50 million for the Sustainable Farming Incentive 2026, pushing the budget for farm support up to 290 million. Plans to build on farm water storage, prepare for future dry summers, to make it easier to build reservoirs with changes to the National Planning Policy Framework. With the last reservoir built in the UK in 1991. That's
92.
fucking incredible. It says here 91. God
no,
damn it,
wrong.
ITV. That's still...
Yeah, they got that one wrong.
That's fucking mental.
I think it was built somewhere in the Midlands, just south of where Kev is. Yeah, that was the last time a major reservoir was built.
Oh God, the Environment Secretary is Angela Eagle, so that's why God has saw fit to kill us in this way. Yeah.
No. No. Wrong. Angela Eagle is fucking Securities Minister.
What is this? It says Environment. This is published yesterday. Seriously.
She's Security Minister.
Right. It's not that I don't trust you, Katie. It's just I'm very ignorant. And I think you're probably right. She's Secretary of State for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, according to Google. Yeah. There we go. A rare case of Kitty being wrong.
She was secure.
Maybe
that was one of the first ones that one of the first junior ministers that got announced when he came in. You saw him walking. He didn't have a lectern or a podium or anything in the end. And he was saying he's going to change everything. He's going to tackle homelessness. And she was one of the first junior ministers to get named.
Yeah, because Google
So
I think you're right, actually. Google appears to have lied to me because, oh, hold on, what the fuck no. She was Minister of State for Security from 12th of June 2026 to 20th of July 2026. So she's been Environment Minister she was Security Minister for 6 weeks, and now she's been Environment Minister for 4 weeks. There you go.
I talked about it on my stream because Elron came in and he was angry that she became fucking a dame. I told you, I'm not going mad. I've actually talked about it.
There you go, Katie.
Thank you.
Minister of State for Security, 6 weeks in the job. And then Secretary of State for Environment, 20th.
Yeah, because Emma Reynolds was the tier list that Helen had done. Emma Reynolds was DEFRA.
Okay, let's work our way back to the story somehow.
Yes, Orchestran.
So who's this by? This is filed by. Oh, no byline. Always dodgy when reporters don't own up, or aren't given credit. We've also pledged 100 million to strengthen the country's response to wildfires and extreme weather, and appointed a fire minister. Oh.
So that will be in. I assume that will be in DEFRA. I would assume so.
Let's Google this phrase, a fire minister. Yeah. I mean, the Old Testament has plenty of fire ministers. So the Minister of State for Crime, Policing and Fire of the UK is Sarah Jones. Do we know anything about Sarah Jones? Leeds Council leader. There we go. Yorkshire Evening Post. Oh. Baroness Blake. Yeah, sounds like somebody who's active with fighting fires. And there's a picture of Baroness Blake.
Elron. Rejoice, we have an Elron.
Fucking adverts, isn't it?
Yeah.
I spotted that.
I can get it. They're classed as local people.
Hello. Riot. Hello.
Noodle Riot.
Other people whose names I can't remember.
Hello, Snake. Hello, Snaky Comrade.
Pop back to.
Hello, everyone.
Oh. Yeah, support for farmers. Yes, it just seems to be the usual government filler. Here's some stuff that sounds like I care.
Very much.
Yeah.
You know what you could. You know what you could do.
What?
You know what you could do. Leave Rosebank and Jackdaw where the fuck they are. That might be an idea. Just saying.
Yeah, it has been floated as a sensible thing.
But we're lefty loonies, apparently. I will carry on screaming into the void to stop. Just leave them where the fuck they are. So Rosebank is oil, everyone, and Jackdaw is natural gas. And they're mature basins. There is no fucking point. It's going to cost billions to fucking extract shit. And it's going to add to the climate crisis. Oh, joy. I like this pretty blue planet. I like living on it. I don't want it to get burnt to a fucking crisp. Okay, Labour Cabinet page lists her as DEFRA, as much as I don't trust the party. Its own page is unlikely to be wrong. Yeah, unfortunately, Elron.
I guess that's Andre the
Rejoice.
Eagle.
Yeah. Angela Eagle is Elron's MP. We're trying to get rid of her.
Let's all just have a moment of silence
Basically,
for
block the
Elron,
scene.
please.
Don't worry, we'll get rid of her. Her majority is actually quite decent. Hopefully your days are numbered, Angie. The way she actually tried to reshape the CLP, and are you okay with me saying where you are, Elron? I think the constituency is
The
big enough.
comments have come out.
Elron's in Wallasey.
I see the comment ghosts have arrived. And from Chatfear, Gamer Pro 99, hello from YouTube, streamer fan, great stream. Here we go. While we're at it, yeah, that would be well. Me and Katie.
Yeah.
Well, Katie's already expressed her moral lines. I'm Northern Irish, so I'm not so fussy. If you equip me with the weaponry and the amount in a bank accessible, then we can have a conversation. Sorry, Katie, I must have done.
Don't worry, it's okay.
Kevin Logan in the past.
I'm not worried about getting doxxed. It'd be someone very stupid to come looking for me. Like, yeah. I try not to dox myself because there's another person living in this house. But yeah, if anyone recognizes me from coming in and trolling me on my own fucking stream and notices me about in Glasgow, I have a walking stick and I used to do fencing. That is all I will say.
Well, now that I'm not in England, I can say I support Palestine action. So come at me, you bastards.
Mind you, in saying that, I could possibly say it. I can possibly say I support. Well, if you're making a nuisance of yourself, it's called breach of the peace. But if you're,
what could you not possibly say, Katie?
I support Palestine action.
You can't say that. Yeah.
You get arrested and locked up for 14 years.
It's still illegal to say. What's it still illegal to say?
I support Palestine action.
It is. It's still illegal to say I support. It is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. I need to use it all the time. I need to use my walking stick all the time, Elron. No center of balance, dodgy knees, blah, blah, blah. The least said about my feet, the better. They exist. That's about as much as I can say. It would take the rest of the stream for me to tell you what's wrong with me. Trust me, you didn't want to go down that road. I have to walk every day. My stepdad's actually mentioned fucking.
Um. Hmm.
I would just use it like a saber flow snake. Don't worry. Plus, I know I know some martial arts, martial arts as well. Plus, I've got him. They'd be a fool to come after me as well because they'd have to deal with him and all. And I wouldn't wish that. Well, maybe I would. Maybe I would wish on my worst enemies. Might give them a good education. I can see that. Orchestra, and I can't remember. I know I'm not going to dox. I'm not going to say what constituency you're in because your one is right next to mine's. I've forgotten who your MP is. Is it Martin Rhodes? Have I got that correct, or is that your MSP? No, your MSP is Bob Doris because our constituency got lopped in half. My MSP is a cabinet member now, Ivan McKee. I like Ivan. Yeah, it is Martin Rhodes. I thought that.
Shall we go into two more stories we're going to look at? Shall we go into some low-hanging fruit, Katie? Should we?
Yes,
should we?
please.
Should we pick off some easy targets? Yeah. Okay. Let's get.
Yeah, I've looked into him
There's one that you
orchestra.
spotted. This is one we probably can read out together.
Yeah.
Let's see. And just move the chat box. I might have to. Move it. Let's see. Let's see this in a minute. There's a story. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice
cream. I'm going to buy myself ice cream on Tuesday off my benefit. My favourite one doesn't exist anymore.
I've gone
Ben and
deaf.
Jerry's fish food. I like fish food. I had little chocolate fishes all through the ice cream.
Fancy some. I had an ice cream today. I've forgotten ice cream. You know those bar ones you buy like an 6 of them for like £2. Not terrible, right? They're acceptable level of quality, right? So this was I think it was
like
a strawberry and vanilla.
All right. See, I would get like the knockoff Magnums. Quite like those. Whatever. Like we do most of our shoppings in Morrison's, so whatever the Morrison's equivalent of Magnums are. Quite tasty. I found this story, everyone. Ice cream man hit with noise complaint over van's music. What the actual fuck?
I think it's probably short enough. We can read it out if you want to. It's by Lolo Chung, Tony Refill, and Holly Harrison from BBC Wales. Published 13th of August, updated 14th of August. Is that you to read? I can probably zoom that up a bit.
No, I can read it. It's fine. Okay.
If you take the first few paragraphs and I'll chip in.
No problem. An ice cream man has been hit with a noise complaint by someone who did not like the loud chimes from his van. Fucking hell. Mark Edwards was contacted by the council after the Tonrefale resident complained about the van's music being too loud in the evening. He said he had been serving the area for more than 20 years without a complaint and was determined not to let one individual spoil it for everybody else. He has agreed with customers to beep his horn in the street so they know he is there. So basically, the horn, essentially. Rhondda Sign and Taft Council said it received a noise complaint in June relating to music being played after 8 p.m., which it investigated and found to be valid. Care to continue?
Edwards from Trepanog was taken aback when he found a letter from the council on the van's dashboard. 20 odd years and I have never had anything like this at all. It's unbelievable, mate. He said, sorry, I'll not do that again. He said his employer told him to stop operating in the area. Oh, that's interesting. His employer. I just assumed he was an ice cream van man, so he was self employed, a sole trader.
When I saw that, I assumed it as well, yeah.
He said his employer told him to stop operating in the area because continuing to use the chimes could result in a fine, but he did not want to stop serving customers, so came up with the alternative plan. I thought, I'm not going to let one individual spoil it for everybody else, so I've come to an arrangement with my customers in the area. They know roughly what time I'm there, and I toot the horn in each street, and they'll come out and enjoy it. They're not going to beat me. The council said the law required a 7 p.m. cut-off time for ice cream van operators to use their chimes, but it did not prevent them from trading after this time. It said Edwards had been sent a letter reminding him of these requirements and that it considers the matter closed. Do you want to take up?
Yeah. The story prompted reaction from others in the area, with some defending him. Amy Elwood from Trebanog said, "It's a bit silly, to be honest. Mark is not harming anybody. I don't see what the problem is about." True. 11-year-old Lexi said, "It's exciting. It's nice to have ice cream in the hot weather." She said she thought the music should continue in the evening because it's been like this for years.
Right. This is one of the commentators I have a problem with. She says it's exciting. What? That the letter from the council is exciting? Who is this? Who is this Lexi who claims to be 11 years old? Who apparently the BBC reporter needed extra paperwork. This Lexi is so insistent. She wanted to fill in extra forms because she's like only 11. Look at this criminal. The music should continue. How dare she? Right. That brings up a few things I want. We're not done yet, but I want to touch on a few things. So, I've got a very annoying ice cream van man in my area, and his chimes. It's not fair to call them chimes. These are songs. These are full bits of music that are very annoying. So, what was wrong with him just turning down the volume? Because that's the cause of the complaint, not the fact it happens, but that it was loud. And I'm going to suggest, I'm going to hypothesize, do they actually have a volume turner downer bit? Can they play at a lower level? And if so, do they even know where the dial for that is? Strikes me as a bit odd. Anyway, I just wanted to flag that up. Look at this criminal, utterly. Ice cream lover Lexi said the music should continue. Right, do you want to take us to the outro, Katie?
Yes. Edwards said he had been surprised by the response on social media. "I knew I was pretty popular, but I didn't think I was as popular as I am now. It's gone completely crazy," he laughed.
Crazy.
Yeah. He said the chimes only played for a few seconds at a time and questioned whether the 7 p.m. rule should be reviewed, branding it outdated. "With local businesses going down, the last thing we need is to go out of business," he added. "It's a dying game as it is, to be honest. There are less and less of us about." The council said it had a legal duty to investigate noise complaints, that it had a duty to enforce the rules. No. Some curmudgeonly idiot in the area it's just bitter as far as I'm concerned with this one.
It's a dying game selling ice creams in a heat wave, a bit like smoking, really. Yeah, I
Dear,
mean,
dear.
I think we're both sort of kind of on the. I don't usually go to the NIMBY side of things, but yeah, to make this complaint during a heat wave against an ice cream man. Um, I mean, I think the person is perfectly at rights to make the complaint, um, but it's the council that decides how to handle that complaint and issuing papers in this week of all weeks. It's just a ridiculous thing to do.
I know they have a right to complain about the noise and everything. I get it. I get it. Elron said at 10 p.m. It's 10 p.m. here as well. But that's the call. They can use their chimes as much as they want up until 10 p.m. and that's when the 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 noise pollution legislation for that comes out your council kicks in, and it was meant to tackle rowdy like parties, pubs, blah blah blah, things like that. But most ice cream vans usually finish up round about 9ish anyway. But yeah, it's 10 p.m. that those for most councils across the land, that's when they kick in. No, this person's being a fucking Scrooge, putting that complaint in, being a bitter bastard, essentially.
I've got a mad fixing for cigarettes tonight, which is kind of fortunate because the chat has some really interesting, fun comments on this particular story, which I think we should read through a few of them aloud.
This gonna be fuck off.
Um, and some really sensible ones. So Elron says he's not allowed to beep his horn to let customers know he's there. Highway code says so. Right. Somebody points out that there's actually Elron again says the council is ignoring the law on noise nuisance, which isn't enforceable until 10 p.m. And I think maybe it's 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. where it specifically applies to workmen. So I think that might be what they're going for, but the article suggested some ambiguity. 8 p.m. time. Um, uh, Flow Snake writes, maybe his ice cream van should broadcast church bells or an Islamic call to prayer. Pretty sure those two would be protected by the Wookiee Ravi law. And would be a lot more functional as well. I mean, prayer relies on faith and a fair amount of imagination, whereas ice cream is something you can actually hold in your hands and by Christ consume it. There's also a great comment, another one by maybe the ice cream van should hand out pagers to all the kids who've shown interest in eating ice cream. Oh wait, Mossad would hack that, and Cobra.
I'll read Elron's next one. I had NIMBYs threaten me with the council over my bike. I told them good luck, and why would the council would and could only do square root of fuck all. Said it as long as you're not breaking any of the highway code with said bike, there's fuck all they can do about it. They can say bike, look, that person has bike. And has he done anything wrong with it? Has he been a nuisance on said bike? No? But bike? Shut up. Yeah,
Uh,
traffic noise isn't actionable at all. How would you fucking police it? How would you fucking fine people for uh, noise caused by traffic? You can't, it's not what you're going to fine all the drivers in the fucking country, and that includes fucking freight vehicles. No, some things
I,
are unenforceable for reasons. Kind of
um,
stupid.
Elrond made a few comments that are quite technical, not
Yeah.
complex. They're simple to understand. Another is highway code also says it's illegal to sound a horn while stationary. So what this means is where this ice cream van driver has been pushed to go is into a lot of areas where law is already in conflict with itself. Um, and yeah, actually, I'm going to take a pause because I have something else to say, which is sort of not about this story particularly, but it's very closely related. Um, we do actually have some new laws here in Northern Ireland. This wasn't what I'm going to talk about at all, but we've had a real problem, like much of the UK, with street preachers and buskers and
Mm.
amplification, and particularly in Northern Ireland, hate preachers. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is some a couple of Burks talks about quite a lot. So we have had a new law introduced about 3 or 4 months ago by Belfast City Council on amplification, and within Belfast City Centre, you're now not allowed to amplify above equivalent to what a household vacuum cleaner would be. Now, there's a number of people break that, but like, how do you, yeah, as you said, how do you police that?
A, a household vacuum level of noise. What
Hmm.
household vacuum?
Well, I
There are
don't know if
many
they mean
different
a
types of
Dyson
household
or a
vacuum. That's
Hoover,
how do
a
you quantify
Henry,
that?
or
They're all different. It
um,
depends on what kind of motor they've got.
yeah. To be fair, the legislation did, which I looked at, did give the actual decibels. And when I was
Well, that's
demonstrating
fine.
this for
That's
when I was demonstrating this for a piece on screen cleaner, I used my own Henry Hoover as a visual audio prop. But then
ah,
I got to
clever.
the I put it through the editor,
Exactly.
the recorded footage, and I couldn't vacuum clean it all. Just me raising my voice above it. So, Flo Snake, you haven't met my vacuum cleaner. Um, so yeah, exactly, orchestra. Which model of vacuum? Um, what I wanted to talk about actually was this article. Um, I mean, this is one big advert for this guy who I've advertised by holding the graphic on him. And they've talked to an 11-year-old for which they have to get permission
Yeah.
to publish. Their papers have to be signed. So that would mean, well, what's normally done as a journalist is those papers are printed out and brought to the scene, maybe placed with a digital tablet signature. But essentially, this is kind of veers over the territory from slightly novelty, kind of local beleaguered businessman to actual out and out advertisement.
Yeah.
Um, there's no talk of countryside trends. There's no generalization that would make this a worthy national story. Um, I would guess that most ice cream people are self-employed. This guy clearly works for somebody else. who maybe owns several ice cream vans, I would guess. Hmm.
Like the last ice cream van that we had here was about 15 years ago. They've all but vanished from this part, from this neck of the woods at least. They still operate up in Bishopbriggs, which is 2 miles up the road, just north of me. But all the ones for like
Kate,
Springburn, they're all gone now. And when they were here, we were fine with them. There's no many kids in the area, and the ice cream van specifically had other things within the ice cream van, including cigarettes and like some groceries that you needed, like bread and
yeah.
milk and other sorts of sugar, shit like that. But
Katie
you
Orchestra
went,
asks if you have seen their text to your phone. I don't know if your phone's
got it.
within reach.
Yeah, yeah, it's right here. Yeah, it's right next to me. I got it, darling. I'll text you later. And if you had done before, I haven't had to. I haven't needed to get that one yet. No, I shouldn't need to. I wouldn't think. Do you
Elron,
not have any down there either, darling?
uh,
Oh. So not two dogs.
there's
The pair
a
of us at
couple
the
of
same
people in
time. Me
chat.
and Orchestra are near each other.
There's a couple of people in chat. Elron, most recently, alluding to the other stuff being sold, and I'm guessing there's an inference of bootleg cigarettes, which I've certainly heard of happening. There's it's interesting. This article doesn't say. So there's been one complaint, but how many people in the area have endured this for many years and said nothing, have suffered in silence? So, for example, my own experience, epilepsy and various other mental health issues. If I am working on a particular project and I hear this ice cream van going off outside my door, it being a bit dramatic, violates, it interrupts, is a better word, interrupts my cognitive train. It interrupts my thinking, and it takes me a bit more time to sort of regain my mental footing. Um, and I know I'm not alone. So yeah, so this is more likely not a case of one person complaining. It's dozens of people, hundreds maybe, sitting in silence and saying nothing.
Yeah.
Again,
Oh,
on another generalized, you could have extrapolated that to national story with that is just kind of, yeah, that's not of interest. This is a human story with advertising.
yeah. I quite like the range that he's got in his ice cream van. It looks kind of cool. Nice range of chilled desserts there, my dude.
Yeah,
Nice one.
let's see if I can do a. Can we zoom up on him? What's this button do? Maximize. Uh-oh, I'm going to regret that. No, minimize. There we go. Yeah, and of course, if Clacton had have elected Count Binface, we wouldn't have had this sort of bullshit. We could have had we could have 99. Oh, ice cream, ice cream. I move that up.
We all scream for ice cream.
You scream, I scream, you all scream for ice cream. Do you know what I miss? I haven't had since I was very young. And actually, they wouldn't suit me now at 52, but They have like chewing gum in the bottom of, or bubble gum in the bottom of the ice cream. It's kind of like a cone shape.
It's a bubble. It's a bubble. It's like a cone, and it's got a bubble gum in the middle. My cousin absolutely loved screwballs. Very very vanilla when I was younger, when I was a little girl or a young teenager. Just a 99 with a flake or a
Yeah,
Mr. Whippy.
your cousin's an idiot. Like, who wants like a bubble gum and ice cream? It's not a natural mix. It's not a good idea. One you swallow, one you chew. Like,
Mhm. Each
mm.
to their own in their choice of iced dessert, I guess. No, like my sister looks at me weird because I like lemon flavored things. Sorry, my dear. I was about to say it's her birthday today. No, what? It's not her birthday today. Her birthday was yesterday.
Oh well. Who's that? Your sister?
Yeah, my middle sister. So there's me, my middle sister, and my younger one.
Happy birthday, Katie's middle sister. And if Katie's cousin is watching, I didn't mean you're an idiot. I love screwballs too. Sorry about that. I retract
I
that.
don't, I don't, I don't think my cousin will be watching. Don't worry. She's
Unlike the
got,
time
she's got 4 kids.
to retract and make an apology. And if you want to report me to
You want an,
IPSO, yeah, take
you
that.
want an apology from the Times, Andy? Please don't hold your breath. Mm. Fuck it. I know how I'm going to work. I will need to talk to you later, Michael, if you're still in chat. I will get something done about this. How's your petition going, by the way?
Oh, myself?
Yeah, your one.
Yeah, so I suspect you're talking about the toilets petition, right? The
Yeah.
Times is much better liars than you, Andy. Yeah. So, yeah, quick recap then. Uh, with the predatory trans people have to use separate bathrooms laws, and those laws specify there has to be a third space, a third bathroom. And I decided that was a loophole that I was going to go in and fight it on. Um, was where we've got male, female, disabled toilets in most public spaces. But now there has to be an extra space for trans people to use. And I think it's a bit fudgy on whether that's an extra space for all trans people or an extra space for trans males and an extra space for trans females, which would mean two extra spaces. So I'm for one toilet across the UK. But because public toilet powers, and there's a huge shortage in public toilets, because public toilet um, are a devolved matter, the petition came back to me from the Commons after about fucking 6 weeks to change it to England. And I thought, well, that's making a bit of a joke of my already quite amusing petition. And it's like, it's telling the joke really badly. Um, they gave me about 5 days to make the changes when I was busy organizing award-winning comics. And so I couldn't get those in. So I intend to rewrite it with a view to England specifically. Maybe take it down to 500,000 because there's still an incredible shortage. I think everybody in this space probably cares about trans rights. But my argument to those who don't would be, well, there's public toilets for you either, so you really need to support it. And if you're opposed to trans rights, why the hell are you pissing in the streets at your fucking weird little fucking cult protests? You fucking freak. Um,
On
it's an
happy
interesting.
news,
Sorry. Yeah.
on happy news in this same area, the Scottish, because yes, devolved, like you said, the Scottish government are in the process of devolving powers down to like the councils. So there's 32 councils up here, and Glasgow City Council is leading the way. Lots of the ones at Glasgow City Council and the National Trust for Scotland properties, they're already expanding their bathroom facilities. Yeah, it's devolved. I was going to look into it, and I went and looked at the legislation up here. I don't need to do I don't need to do a petition for that because the SNP government are already on it. Who does think an actual decent government exists here in the UK? Move north, everyone.
Been a number of actions in America in the last week where police were called to a women's toilet to find 3 males, but these were trans males had shown up together. They were to use by their biological sex. They had together with T-shirts stating that identical T-shirts stating they were complying with the law, because the alternative was they would be arrested. Look, our children safe caused more startling. I wrote a comment I just want to pick up on. It's about protest. Let's scroll back and see if I can find. Oh, not the one about bubblegum ice cream. Oh, Elron writes, actually, there's another bit on disabled toilets and having to ask for a key. Yeah,
it depends.
Why do you have to ask? Why do you have to ask for a key for disabled toilets? Surely that requires more work from a disabled person. That's just
no. You have to prove you're disabled. Someone has to look at you and say, "Oh yes, you're disabled. You look disabled. Have key." Good luck being able to tell I'm disabled. I have a walking stick. I guess that's an indication. All my issues are inside of my body. You can't fucking see them unless they balloon up to the size of a fucking rugby ball or a football or something. You can't tell the nature of my disability by looking at me. Yeah, carry on.
Well, Tesco in Bangor, County Down, sent tours to disabled trolley, presumably cousin in a wheelchair or on crutches. They assumed I had no right to it. I was suffering a bit of supermarkets bring out serious auditory impacts on me. Sorry, chat is I'm really having. Okay, and seriously, what actually happens when Parliament passes practical and unenforceable law? I'm not sure if this has been said. Yeah, 100. I mean, my thoughts go to the story outside Parliament, and they brought in new protest laws, specifically designed to shut Brian Haw down, where he was protesting the illegal invasion of Iraq. And actually, because the law couldn't be applied retroactively, it only applied to everybody but Brian Haw. It kind of backfired on him. But what that law meant was that in order to protest, you had to apply to a police station a week before the protest. to fill in the
Rosie.
forms to say what protest, how many people would be on it. And it's something Mark Thomas did a whole book about organising weekly protests across London. So he would I don't want people to do one-man protests, and it's a fantastic read or video if you want to check those out. He actually holds a Guinness World of Records for the most protests by any person consecutively in a short period of time. Yeah.
I'll read Neurorise just put in a good comment here. Since it's obvious that nearly all spaces won't just magically have this extra bathroom space, have they stated what's supposed to happen meanwhile? Does no bathrooms for trans people? Seems like it. Trans women can piss, they can use the men's because that's what the assigned male at birth. Trans men can't. They can't. Because if they were to go into the bathroom of their like AFAB, they can, they're trans mask. And if they go into the men's, technically illegal. So trans femme can go to the bathroom, trans mask can't. The law makes no fucking sense. How the fuck are they going to enforce this? That's why your petition is really fucking good. And Scotland's already on that issue. We're already dealing with it. Thanks. We've been sorting this for a couple of years now. It started in the previous administration.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on how Parliament. It might be 6 weeks before we come, on my part. But what I would encourage you all to do, if Scotland, each of you have, well, Northern Ireland less so, but Scotland and Wales have direct route free petitions for the Senate and Holyrood. And I really encourage you to put in a similar petition for those areas. If you want to contact me, I can give you the text that I used for Westminster, which you can adopt as you see fit.
Any sort of links for petitions or anything, put it in my Discord, resources for the masses.
Yeah, I don't always get, because I have like 50 Discord open, I don't always get when somebody has tagged me, and I've got a lot on mute.
Yeah.
Feel free to message me. As long as I see that, if I get a direct message from somebody, and I get a few, and they're mostly the ones from people I don't know, or mostly all am, but if I see a member of, say, Peace Discord or Burks or No Justice or Kevin Logan, if I see or we got mutual friends in common, I will go through them.
I've got a sneaking suspicion I'm the one that DMs you the most. Just a thought.
Yeah, we work quite a bit on putting together these streams. Shall we try and tackle our last?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Sharing, I guess. As one he picked out on financial rights, UK. I'll just give it a wee moment to load up here. Thank you all for coming. I think it's been a really good stream tonight, and it's been helpful that we haven't been too ambitious.
Yeah,
It's really made it go a lot stronger, I think. So this is from the Guardian, published on Friday by Richard Adams, who I think was one of the Jason Arty pylon lot, and Rowena
he
Mason.
was. Excuse me.
Um,
Sorry about that.
so I think we might be able to read this between us. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if we get bored. We'll just summarize. UK
Yeah.
universities face financial crisis amid collapse in international students. Brexit. Higher education figures call on Labour to reverse tax on fees and warn institutions at risk of going under. So, international students 101, they pay several times more than domestic students. And yeah, Katie, do you want to? Are you in a place to take the first couple of paragraphs?
Yeah. University
Actually,
leaders are war.
step out. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I before we start here, I will say I went and checked, like no student fees for Scottish students. So if you want to go to university to study anything, you do, if you're Scottish, if you're from here, and you've got settled status here in Scotland, you don't pay. I didn't pay. Lucky me. The international students, I actually reached out to my community, and I reached out to my sister, and I asked her, said, how much would they be paying? Said, I, I can tell you straight off the bat. International students who'd be coming to do either the degree that my sister done or the one that I done. Like my degree down in the English university would be just slightly under 10,000. The same student doing the same course from out with the UK is paying about 24. So all told, it's 9,000, just 9,750 or 978, just under 10,000 for an English student to study there. The international student is paying about 27 per year. So a 4-year degree up here in Scotland would translate to just slightly over £100,000 that they're paying for the degree that they're coming over to the UK to study.
Funder, you're right. If you put the link in chat, we'll try and get it pinned.
Are you in my Discord, Neuro Riot? I think if you are, or if you're in any of the related ones, I'm not to women over there, by the way. So you can put it into my Discord as well. You can put it in resources for the masses if you are in my Discord. Oh, I've seen that in a couple other Discords already. Cool. Yeah, if you're in my Discord, you can post it in there as well if you want Euro Riot. So international students are paying roughly £30,000 a year, roughly. And that would be really ramp up if they wanted to do medicine. All told, international students who come and study medicine here are paying about £150,000. I don't know what, it depends where they're from, what country they're coming from to study here in the UK. I would stop charging domestic students, full stop, on STEM, but me, STEM coded, especially biology, especially human, I would not be charging for STEM studies. Sorry, arts and humanities. We need to get the engineers first before we indulge you airy fairy types, as some people call you, says a committed Hellenist and studier of history, oddly enough. I wouldn't charge anyone. But if they were to do that, it'd be easier to appeal to a government to say, stop charging STEM degrees. We need the engineers, we need the doctors, we need nurses, blah, 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 and we go on. And that's how we fund it from international students, essentially. Burnham, can you hear us? University leaders are warning of financial turmoil in British higher education after new figures suggested a collapse in international student numbers would deprive the sector of vital income and undermine its future. The sector's leaders called on the government to rethink the levy on international student fees imposed under Kidstarver. Oh, he's still causing damage, even though he's no prime minister anymore. What the fuck? As a former minister, a universities minister warned there was a risk of a university going under because of a financial crisis. While UK sixth formers enjoyed improved A-level results and a record 194,800 English 18-year-olds were accepted by their first choice. Nice one. Vice Chancellors who spoke to The Guardian said it would not be enough to stave off further erosion in staff numbers and courses. Figures published by the Home Office show student visa applications to the end of July fell 11% compared with the previous year. The summer visa applications coming before the start of the academic year in autumn. University degree courses usually start in September. The gloomy figures mean that many UK universities will experience significant losses if trend continues, with some fearing international enrolments dropping by fucking hell 30%. Andy?
So Professor Shichi Kapoor, Vice Chancellor of King's College London, underlined some of the pessimistic expectations. I thought this was really interesting here. The critical thing is what this cycle will entail, which does not become clear till about October. The simple rubric is that every 5 international students impact one university job, and these falling numbers will invariably impact the financial health and staff complement of universities. Katie and I were discussing this earlier. I mean, Scotland isn't really represented because Scotland, you can go to university for free if you meet the qualifications, but in the rest of the UK, you pay out. And an international student is paying maybe 3 to 5 times what a regular UK student is. 5 international students impact one university job. I mean, a teacher's salary at a university, like your regular teaching teacher, is their yearly salary is probably equal to what 2 international students would pay, maybe 3 at a stretch. So to say 5 impacts a job is very much a safe bet, a safe calculation,
Yeah.
a very real risk. So there's some actual figures below. Successive governments rose domestic undergrad fees at your bachelor's at 9,250 between 2017 and 2025. Subsequent increases will be largely wiped out by universities paying a £925 levy on each international student.
For fuck's sake.
That kind of suggests it's only 925 extra, which is bullshit as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, that's incorrect. I went and checked that actually. So it's 925 a year that they're having to pay. So the university hands over 925 for each year of the degree course the international student is doing. So the Guardian is kind of obfuscating that. Naughty Guardian. Another fucking Tory bastard! Gonna just go away!
David Willys. Um,
We can't get rid of these ghouls, can we? I'm fucking sorry. Huh. Well,
um,
it's added there is indeed a risk of a university going under through financial crisis. But what worries me more is just all about the cutting back on the quality of the education experience of the students. And I think we have an obligation to students to ensure their courses are properly funded, including putting up fees so that the resource goes in. Fucking fund it from central government, you bastards.
wasn't it the Tories who brought in the squeeze on universities to begin with, in the early 2010s, who
Ding,
just
ding, 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 ding.
wiped out bursaries and grants, and raised the interest rates on student loans,
There
put
was
tuition
three. There,
fees
there
through
was
the roof.
there's three ring fences. Everything else, every other fucking department. Gideon. I'm not calling him by George because that was to appeal to the common man. You can fuck right off. His name's Gideon. That was Gideon Osborne. All unprotected departments got fucking slashed.
So 2017 fees were frozen. So that's at the right after we got rid of Cameron and Gideon, isn't it?
Uh, 2010, 2015, the coalition government. Brexit. Pig fucker fucks off. Then we get the Maybot.
Yeah,
So yeah, this is after. This was under Maybot essentially. So this was Theresa May, Bojo, lettuce lady, then Fishy Rishi.
So yeah, this is prime Cameron Osborne austerity.
Yes.
There we see there's a bit of actually I'll just read this. Members of the Russell Group of research intensive universities are being affected by increased financial stress, with the University of Exeter announcing on Thursday that it was immediately scrapping geography courses at its Penryn campus in Cornwall, including for school leavers who had applied this year. There's a story, Ulster University, I think has been announced in April that Ulster University would cut 450 jobs. One of those is for my Discworld pod. Will not be lecturing this coming year.
Did PJ lose his job?
Yep, PJ's out.
Fuck.
While continuing to support the university by doing his PhD there. So I don't know if he wanted that announced on stream, but it's done now.
I just want to say quickly, the Orchestran has put in the comments there, why geography? The reason Orchestran asks that, her dad was a geography teacher. Yeah, it sickens me as well. Geography is kind of important for the climate crisis. Just saying.
Just get this out quickly. Thank you, Flow Snake. So like a lot of these job cuts are coming from the teaching staff and the research staff, which is the unique point of a university. Things that you need to do things. So it's a bit mental. Libby Hackett, the chief executive of the Russell Group, said the group's university still attracted talented international students in an increasingly competitive global market, bringing cultural and economic benefits to the UK more widely and to universities. A series of policy decisions by successive governments, including the unpopular international student levy, risks undermining this success story. This isn't just worrying for universities, it's not good news. It shows that the decline in international students means the UK has lost out on a net economic benefit of nearly 3 billion. Um, yeah,
John, will you
so I mean,
carry on?
these universities, if you like, I'll just say quick, have always been dependent on international students, even pre. Um, and I mean, why would anybody want to come to the UK post Brexit? And now, why would anybody want to study in the UK? So you've got the big ones, Oxford and Cambridge, and there's other big ones, St Andrews in Scotland, widely regarded as the institutional university. Queen University in Belfast for Northern Ireland. Like apart from the tourism, what does UK in the world? You can't find European countries.
Researching. Well, we've got right. You forgot to mention my university. Thanks. Strathclyde and Glasgow for medicine and dentistry, and Strathclyde for biomed and biohuman. Basically, basically how the body works, how to study when things go wrong with it. Like Glasgow's good for overall medicine. It is still one of the top 20 universities in Europe and in the top 50 of the world for medicine. Companies Glasgow, and so we consider a lot of the universities here. Don't get me wrong, we still do humanities. Glasgow's got a great history and philosophy and sociology department. I've got a couple of friends who went there to study there for like
Yeah, but
humanities.
are they? I mean, they might be UK leaders, but are they world leaders?
Glasgow is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strathclyde for naval engineering. Strathclyde's got one of the best naval research departments. Best.
Sorry, I just
Your
going to
brother
read out
did
Elron's
electronics at
comments
Glasgow.
here.
Sweet.
Elron writes,
Trying
Russell
to
Group
not
is
know pretending.
dedicated to thieving all the best promising research from top universities, and the more closed, the lesser is to steal.
The Russell Group universities are basically STEM. Don't get me wrong, there's humanities ones in it, but Russell Group are basically science and engineering, essentially. Most of the universities are leaders of excellence in their respective areas. Biomed for Strathclyde, medicine and dentistry and engineering in Glasgow, and especially naval engineering at Strathclyde as well. Who'd have thunk
Rosie
a
writes,
major port?
yeah, there's a few really good pieces and comments
Yeah.
about reflecting on various universities. Rosie writes Dundee great for medicine and games design. Isn't Dundee where Rockstars is based? Yeah.
Not now. There is a skeleton
Not
crew in
now.
an office in Dundee. I should know that.
Oh yeah, they've been
Right.
downsizing, haven't
She
they? And that's
uh,
not went well.
Nib-
It's a whole
Niblet is
tangent,
in.
Katie. We haven't got to 3
Just
a.m.
quick.
Let's quick.
I'll just Niblet's partner worked for Rockstar there. She studied at Dundee. She done her degree there. She got offered straight out of they headhunted her when she was still doing her fucking course, and she was the lead designer for Rockstar in Dundee. And she got fired, and 90% of her team basically said, right, we're shutting this office down. They've still got a skeleton crew of 3, and that's it. So yes, Dundee is great for game design and game development and web design and things of that nature. My sister went to Dundee to do her nursing degree.
Okay, I
Screw
hope
you,
you've got more
Rockstar.
throat
You can
power
fuck off.
left to pick up the article. You can summarize bits if you like.
The The Burnham government recognises the critical role universities play in our national and local economies. Fund it better. Decision making across government in support of economic growth, including measures that enable us to continue welcoming global talent. Get rid of that £925 a year then. That might help. Vivian Stern, Chief Executive of Universities UK Group of Vice Chancellors, said the student visa figures should be a wake-up call for policymakers. Will they hear it? There are plenty of people in government who understand the pressure on the sector.
Aye.
They understand how important university... I don't see that.
Right to do.
They understand how important universities are for local economies and domestic students, and they're watching this with concern. Well, do fucking something about it. I hope these people are knocking on the door of the Department of Education and the Home Office. Do not tap on the door of the Home Office.
Universities. Quietly drop the idea of taxing international student fees.
If you're going to be knocking on government departments, you may as well just knock on the fucking door of number 11. You might actually get a response from Healy, who knows. And saying they can do one thing tomorrow that will help universities, and that is to quietly drop the idea of taxing international students. Will they do that? I am doubtful.
I don't see.
I understand
think it would be a bit pointless to quietly drop it. You want to celebrate. You want to promote that you're dropping the tax, because that might reach people who listen. Anyway, maybe I'm nitpicking. Was somebody's talking like a prick.
I understand the political pressure around immigration, because they're chasing the right-wing vote now, because that's where they think the electoral future is. Please stop doing that. We need the international students and we need international workers to come and basically pay taxes and fund the fucking country properly.
You can't say I support Palestine action, but you can't say Heil Hitler.
I will not say that last one. I'm a committed communist. All fascists can fuck off. I will say no further. Jackie Smith, the skills minister, dear God, another bleary. The skills minister, whose portfolio includes higher education, told BBC on Thursday that the government was concerned that university courses should be good value for money. You shouldn't need to pay to go to uni. And suggested future increases in tuition fees would be linked to teaching quality.
Sorry, Katie. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm losing my fucking mind here. I'm trying to be an educator here, and the government is making it far too fucking difficult for me to outreach to students. Thanks, Burnham, you bastard.
Blairites give Katie temporary Tourette's. For most people, going to university is a very good and important investment in their future earning potential and in their life, Smith said.
Why does it always come back to fucking making money? Lifelong learning, lifelong education is a good thing, for fuck's sake. Ugh. Just end me, please. Just fucking end me.
David wrote his PhD dissertation on the subject that education should be enough for its own sake, which is fine. You shouldn't go to university to get a job, although, you know, it should help. You should go to university to get an education, and an education is an ongoing experience for all human beings. An education is worth it. It's like as much as love, as much as getting abs. It's one of the best ways you can contribute to society is by yourself person. Emotional intelligence, musical intelligence, mental, academic intelligence, critical thinking. That's the thing. University did me the most with critical thinking, and I picked it up probably in the first 6 months there. Um, just to look at things properly, objectively, to check sources, to check verified, essentially advice about extra. And I think every person in the UK needs taught critical thinking. You don't learn it at school. You may learn it at further higher education colleges like the old Polytechnic. You certainly learn it at university, or you should learn it at university. Yeah, if every Briton was taught critical thinking, would be in a much happier place, I think.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, this shit out like lecturers being just old because they won't let international students, which were not right. I don't think it's right that international students are funding these to such an extent, but by making it harder for them to do so, it's a bit like the way they, except smoking cigarettes is actually bad for you, whereas education is really good for you.
Yeah.
At least your average
They're
psychopath
they're they're trying.
kills with a brick or a hammer, not with greed and incompetence.
Ooh.
It's Alan Moore.
Correct, Rosie. Critical thinking skills are essential. Well said, Rosie. Omaha, you are smart.
Educated, Rosie. Yeah. And you know, I've been thinking about that. I've lost a few people through dementia in my life, and I'm thinking, does education a sort of like as a bulwark towards that? Um, I know as an epilepsy sufferer that actually, well, Katie could probably explain a bit better than I could what happens when somebody has an epilepsy. But the education helps form bridges. Learning any new skill, form bridges, and that reduce the risk of epilepsy, other neurological issues. So, you guitar, or you learn to paint, or you go and read a factual book, not all cognitive uh, ways.
Education and lifelong learning helps. Correct, Orchestran, my dear. Just out of curiosity, when would your dad have been working at Jordan Hill? And if it's between certain years, I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a secret. Well, it's not a secret. Well,
I want to put something out. Liverpool's service economy survives on student trade. If the city is in trouble, and actually that's not Liverpool, it's Soldier City.
oh dear God.
Yeah, and that's something that Dad has done. That are the many areas of lifeblood of the workforce.
Or,
I had to take on two jobs, two regular jobs, to pay my way through my while I was doing my degree.
when I actually attended university, a lot of my fellow students who were studying alongside me, they had one or two jobs as well. The international students who were doing the same degree course as me, they didn't need to have jobs because most of them were Chinese or South Korean, and a few Europeans, a couple of Germans, a couple of French, and one Italian lass. She was awesome. I liked her. They didn't need to. They didn't need to get jobs. They basically just uh, tapped into the bank of mum and dad. They had nice flats just outside the city centre. I
Oh
didn't need to
my,
work
that's
because I
just
didn't need to pay student fees. Orchestran, my darling, and my mum's best friend, her eldest. Your dad would have lectured her. Kind of frightening.
bitches out there. Anybody here?
I'm back. My back.
I hear
I didn't notice
Tracy.
that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, you were off about there. And apparently
There,
my
am I
audio's
back?
glitching
I'm
a bit
back. There's there.
too.
There's the.
Back, yeah.
There we go. Sorry about that. I keep on moving my necklace, and I might have hit the button on the.
Yes, near riot. The report said 3 billion less international quoted UK, the total sector of 3 billion. I think report also cited. I would say 3 billion seems much lower. It's my bullshit detector off on that. I much higher billion. Somebody made a comment about autism or ADHD. Go. Laura Greening from birth. Wonder, or Katie, if you could expand. Um, if you try adjusting your microphone at the bottom of Restream, the microphone um, thing, this bit here. There we go. Yeah. Oh, we can barely hear you, Andrew. Okay. Oh, I think this might be a fail on both because my Cool, cool. Right now we've got rid of Katie. We can all talk about her behind her back. She did pop in briefly. Oh, you can't hear a word from me now. Okay, let's see.
Hello. Oh, the chat's over my face. Can I move it? No, I can't move the chat.
Katie should be back in just a minute. Looks like she's unable. Appeared.
Oh dear. Can everyone see me and hear
Okay.
me?
I think
Andy?
you can see Katie backstage. I don't know why I haven't got on. It shows that she's on the. We'll go. Katie. Yeah. Any not drum roll if you get all
Oh
drum rolls,
dear.
please. Hear her. I can't see her.
They can all
She's
hear and see
incoming.
me.
You can't get the read.
Weird.
Yeah, I wonder, should I go out and come back?
Yeah, the chat is over my face. If you think that would work, yeah, you're the. Oh, no. I'm in charge now. Oh, we're thirded. I can't hear Andy now. Oh dear. Hi, Andy. I can't hear you. Oh dear. I can maybe just talk. Does anyone have any questions about further or higher education? So you've got primary, secondary, then you've got tertiary, which is either sixth form or your hires are A plus and blah 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 all that stuff. Then you've got quaternary, which is basically your undergrads, and upwards like masters and PhD. Oh dear. Andy?
Have I returned
Oi oi.
you?
Yes! Yay! We can see you as well.
Oh, great. Woo. And we've got I'm seeing a whole third screen that's just. Oh,
It's went away now. It's
yeah.
just the two of us again.
Yeah, whatever's happening, my printer's running really slow, my browser. So, yeah, a dignified. Yeah.
Oh, decent looking moth.
Right.
Welcome
Yeah.
in.
Mm.
Elron.
Yeah. I think this is probably a browser issue that's really only going to go away if I shut my computer down and restart. Probably a bit late for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I think Katie and I floated the idea of popping up on the Numptyverse Discord afterwards. If anybody wants to join us, I noticed there's some people on the Couple of Perks Discord. So that might be an option. If you're interested in taking part, you don't see us on the Numptyverse server afterwards, shoot us a link. We'll send you the Couple of Perks link. I think, yeah, tonight's went really well, apart from the last 20 minutes and the tech thing, but we got through everything we needed to do, and it's been a really good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great.
We've got Katie and I both invested in a book called, oh, I can see my copy. Hold on. Here we go. Crap MPs. Yay! So we've got it's kind of, I think it's 50, and it's like little short entries. So what we plan to do,
it's 40 of them. 40.
40, yeah. Is to go through them, pick out a half dozen, and then just expand upon our own research and bring them to you. So Victorian villainy will return over the next little while. We also, it was really our last stream together was really popular, where we did Peter Capaldi's Doctor Who season, 3 seasons. But after each season, we identified a theme of that season, and then we explored it through a story from that week's news. We both really enjoyed it. You all enjoyed it. So we're looking at doing it with Babylon 5, with Star Trek, and we'll make it spoiler free, and we'll make it very clear and transparent. So for example, how it worked last time, we talked about the TV show for half an hour, and then we talked about the news story for half an hour. So if you didn't follow Doctor Who, you didn't care, then you could just hang about or come back. So we're going to try that again at some point. And we did.
Damn, one of the major storylines that I like in Babylon 5. Oh god, it's a massive spoiler. It is really good. Um
No spoilers.
I will give you one I will give you one
Spoiler
phrase.
you.
Earth Force 1. That's all I'll say.
Um, I'm going to plug some stuff. A couple of Burks. I did a live stream, a couple of Burks this afternoon, talking about some of the Jason Arday stuff. I was on from about 23 minutes in to about an hour and five.
Yeah.
Um,
It was really good, Andy,
Sun,
by the way. That was
yeah,
amazing.
it was. Yeah, thank you to JOJ as a couple of Burks who you should see in this chat. Go and give them a follow, give them a like. They do some really keen investigative journalism with a really good, fun, sometimes dark sense of
It
humor,
was, yeah.
a very inclusive community. Um, yeah. Um, I have my Always Sunny in Philadelphia micro review series running on Sunday mornings. And so 12 o'clock, we're going through season 8, which, as always, Sunny fans know, is still prime television, still at that peak. Um, and then I have my Caption Comics Festival travelogue with about 30 minutes about the festival, about 8 minutes of like video and photography around Oxford. And hopefully PJ Hart and I will be recording a new Discworld podcast um, during the week on Going Postal.
Yeah.
Um, if you subscribe to my Patreon for £1 a month, £1 a month, you get advance access to anything that I do that isn't live, and that includes the Discord podcast. Katie, tell us, did you do a stream with somebody last night?
No, oh, no, I done it on my own. Um, so I done Thursday night. I tried to, I was all, oh no, I did stream last night. So Thursday night into Friday morning, I covered the by-election. I gave up at 3 o'clock or at 10 to 3 because
I'm just
they,
remembering I was actually there last night. Yeah, it was a
you were,
very,
yeah.
very tired. Yeah.
Yes, I was streaming on Thursday night for the by-election. I gave up at 3 o'clock because they were nowhere near finishing the count. It didn't actually get announced until six a.m. and Manfrog wasn't there because he's a whiny little bitch.
He's a big
The
baby.
right, he is a big baby. The writing's on the wall, Nigel. Get fucked.
Going down to fucky town.
Last night I covered Trump and RFK Jr. Uh, immunizations. So this is the whole separating the vaccines out for the MMR and shit like that. Immunization is state level. You can get guidance from the federal government, and the guidance that Trump was talking about is sponsored by RFK, Health and Human Services. Please just fucking end me. So I covered that, and I covered Billy Kay, who works closely with the Macker. He got an honorary doctorate from St Andrews. Talking about the Scottish language, like Broad Scots, Gaelic, and colloquial Scots language. and how we can use it to advance Scottish independence.
Cool.
In the
And
in the
you'll probably be streaming about in a week. Yeah.
yeah, maybe 4. It depends what's happening. But yeah, I'll go through the news and stuff. Obviously, it's still silly season. I'm going to be doing a lot of research. I will be covering what happens during the conference season. Rejoice, we've got Reform First, the 3rd to the 5th of September, and poor Birmingham. Keep your fingers crossed that Brummy Comrade doesn't go nuclear. That'll be fun. So both Reform and the Tories are doing their party conferences in Birmingham again. It's like they're trying to reach out to one of the most left-wing cities in all of the UK. That's why none of the... I can't even think if the Tories or Reform have ever done a party conference here in Glasgow. I don't think they'd be welcome, really. If I exist in this city, they're just Tories, Labour, Reform, any of yous, just stay the fuck away from Glasgow.
You looking ahead, but mate. Yeah. Whoop.
Indeed, decent looking moth, vote green.
Yeah.
Every season is silly
and
season.
you talked
Correct,
about doing
Omaha.
a few streams. You talked about doing a few streams again with Jim Speak and JOJ, perhaps, at a couple of brooks.
Yes. Yes, I will be talking to
It'd
Mr. The
be
Speak about that. Do not worry.
It'd be nice to. It'd be nice
He
to have
floated
them
a really
on
good
the
idea.
on the show. Yeah, and if any of our regulars would like to be on stream and join us, feel they have something to say about something specific, yeah, like reach out, because we're entirely open to that. Yeah.
I'm assuming it.
Shall we
I'm
call
assuming
it there
it's you.
before we nod off?
Yeah. Do you want to go into the Numptyverse, or are there people still in the Burks?
I I had to shut down my Discord power. I will go in and check both of them. Yeah, keep a wee eye. If I think most people are in the Numptyverse. There are a few might not be on. They'd be quite well. Yeah. So one or the other. Yeah.
Exactly, Reza. You'd think the Tories and Reform would go to Essex, but then Emily would be uncomfortable. We'll post them both, yes. I'd just get bad for angriness. I exist, Omaha. I'm angry. I try to temper it, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I do rant. I can't go out and actually do protesting and shit like that because, yeah, body basically gubbed. Yeah. So I do my activism online and try to educate everyone.
I will. Oh, I've got to put the gerbils to bed, restart the computer. Some of you in Discord, if you're going to rest and restore and revitalize.
I will do my standard. I will do my standard sign off. Hang on, I will do my standard goodbye. Stay hydrated, not necessarily with cider. Self-care is good care. Take your meds if you need to, Kenny. Stay based, free Palestine, and tell Burnham to be better. It might be possible.
No passaran, they shall not pass.
No passaran. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Andy. Catch you later.
Lady-o.